The Milwaukee Brewers just keep stacking up dubs. So they had 56 hits in those 3 games against the Nationals over the weekend, and they just continue to thrive. They beat Atlanta yesterday 3-1. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They have a 3-game lead over the second place Cubs, and we pair these two together. We're talking NL Central. Those are the 2 leading the charge. Cubs lost yesterday. Brewers win, Cubs lose. We forgot to mention this, I think, yesterday, but the Brewers did lose the Miz. It sounds like just 2 starts. He's got bruised, I think, tibia. And then Jackson Cheerio's on the shelf right now. But there's other dudes that are raking now.
This is incredible.
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead. You got it, Cam. My bad.
I'm with Scott. And as you talked about it, and I'm glad you led with that, the Miz is going down. Maybe Mr. Starter too. Jackson Churio, he's down. But this is the special power, the superpower of the Milwaukee Brewers is that there's always somebody ready to step up. I mean, Sal Frelick has been outstanding. Caleb Durbin, Peralta has been lights out. There's so many guys that when you look around his lineup, it's somebody every single night, right? It's not just one guy, and it's usually a team effort. And I said it off, Aaron, I'm going to say it now. The Milwaukee Brewers and Pat Murphy are going to save the game of baseball, right? When we have these gurus stressing OPS and creating holes in the swing and creating guys that aren't complete baseball players, the Brewers and Pat Murphy continue to stick to the blueprint, right? And that's the old school blueprint. Average matters. Can you move guys? Can you get guys over? Can you manufacture runs? 56 hits. Like, that's a fun team to watch if I'm a fan, right? You know something's going to happen, and they're going to find a way to win baseball games. And it's just, a lot of props to the Brewers for each and every year, no matter who's running the show, they continue to go and get ball players. And I think, again, they're going to save baseball. This is the brand of baseball we need to celebrate and promote even more.
I love everything you said about that. I love everything you said about the Brewers. We've talked about this a little bit before the show, but there's not many big names on this squad. They got some boys that can just play. And the biggest thing that we talked about was they're a unit. They play together. Nobody's trying to top anybody. Nobody cares if they're 0 for 4. This is a team that goes out there and plays the game the way it should be played. Forget about the paperwork. They have a blueprint of how they want to do it, and they're doing it, and nobody else is telling them any different. They got a guy coming up there and just doing their job, getting the guy over, mashing the ball. And guess what? Hitting's contagious. When you hit, everybody else wants to hit. They want to step up. I want to come to the party. Knock, knock. I'm here. The Brewers are here, and they're here to stay, Scotty. It's incredible. A bunch of guys that have played before, nobody's going to wow you. They just go out and play, and they play as a unit for one thing only, is to play for each other.
Best record in baseball by 3 games, and I like how he said.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We cannot skip it because Frazier's right, but Pat Murphy. I played for Pat Murphy, and listen, this is bigger than the players, right? Pat Murphy is a guy who will call you into that manager's and he's going to tell you, hey, this is what you do really well. Like, walk towards it, embrace it, step into it. And he gets guys to understand what they do well instead of trying to be somebody that they're not. So I don't mean to interrupt you, Scotty, but we have to give, Pat Murphy his flowers, man. This guy is a leader of men. I've said it before, and he gets the best out of whoever is on that roster.
Simple mission statement. Actually, that relates to what we do. Foul territory, baseball the way it should be covered. The Milwaukee Brewers. Baseball the way it should be played. That's good.
Absolutely.
Like that. It's a T-shirt.
Hey, make sure Foul Territory gets a percentage of that T-shirt when they're running around Milwaukee in October.
Cha-ching.
Scotty Brown started. You heard it here.
You led me right to what I wanted to ask you, Cam. We're loving it. It's fun to watch. It's a great brand of baseball. Can this brand win a World Series title this year and get through a National League gauntlet to make it to the World Series? Do they have enough firepower when October baseball changes? They string together hits. We love it. But then you face the top 3 starters and the top 3 relievers for a team, and it gets a little more difficult to string together hits. Do you feel like they needed to get a Gino Suarez to bring more pop to the lineup? They've got some, but did they need more pop? More guys that can change the game with one swing, or can they just rally teams to death in October?
Well, I will say this. You named the right guy. I think if there was any guy that would have been fit, not only for that clubhouse energy, the togetherness of that team, but that ballpark, it would have been Gino Suarez. Like, that would have been the piece that I think holy crap, it really pushes them over the edge, because I do think now, after that first series against the Yankees, and they proved me wrong, right? That first week, it was ugly. But all of a sudden, they got guys who are stepping into who they are, right? Guys that know how to get outs, guys that know how to pitch to contact. They play great defense, right? All we've talked about is how terrible the Yankees have played defense and how it comes back to bite them in the backside. Whether it's defensively, running base, they do everything well. They steal bases. They're one of the more athletic teams in the game. They manufacture runs. They catch the ball. They just play a solid brand of baseball. And I will say right now, when you look at the American League, and you said it before, I think the National League is head and heels beyond the American League when you talk about talent. So when I look at this team, I think, you see a lot of close ball games won in October, and that's what the Brewers do. So I do think they have a winning pedigree, and even though they haven't won a World Series, I think they are in the Brewers' golden era, right? They make the playoffs every single year without the big name guys like Frey said, and they just continue to win. So I think this year, with looking at the Dodgers, how disrupted they are, there is a chance for the Brewers to make a run for sure.
Kratz, there are a lot of people out there that pay rent and they don't get anything for it.
Might as well change that. You can get some rewards for flights, hotels, tons of stuff.
With Built, you can earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards airlines, hotels, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and much more. It doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and enjoy experiences just for Built members every month. They're turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood, wherever you call home, by going to joinbuilt.com/foul. That's joinbilt.com/FOUL. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. joinbuilt.com/foul. Go for it.
Let's get to the Cubs, though, for a moment. Do we think the Cubs are going to be okay? I mean, obviously, they're in a fine spot. They do have, the tied for second or third best record in baseball. They fall yesterday. Tough loss for them. And the starter who they acquired, Mike Soroka, goes down. He's got shoulder discomfort. He's hitting the injured list. We've had Soroka on the show. Super nice guy. He said, quote, embarrassed, Todd Father, because just 2 innings into his tenure with the Cubs, there's heat on the Cubs because they didn't pick up another starter, and he gets hurt from the jump. He said he actually had an MRI before he got traded. I don't know if that had to do with any discomfort here or just checking something for medicals. I don't know. That part I wanted more information on, but he said he felt fine, and then he goes down pretty quickly with the shoulder injury. So how are we feeling about the Cubbies in the rotation there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you always worry about rotational pieces. You always worry about pitching. I mean, guys aren't throwing many innings nowadays. So, I mean, these starters are, it's coming extinct. Some of these guys that don't throw that much, they're hoping for 5. And if you get 6, you're clapping your hands all the way to the bank. So, yeah, if you're Soroka, you're disappointed, you're upset, and you're a guy that's, trying to help a team win and get back to the playoffs and make some noise, especially when they don't have that other guy. So, we know the Soroka of old with the Braves, how good he was and how good he can be. Again, a little disappointing. I still think the Cubs still have a good chance of, getting back into the division, but wild card for sure. But this is a team that, keeps plugging along too as well. It's hard to play at Wrigley Field. Maben knows this all too well. If the wind's blowing one way, you got to try and hit a ground ball, and I wasn't a ground ball hitter, so that's the biggest issue for a lot of the guys. But yes, I think the Cubbies will be just fine.
Quick note here before you jump in. Mike G, one of our favorites in the chat, who did not like that they didn't land a big-name starter, did point out something that I read about when Soroka was traded there. The last few starts that he had, a month or so period, his velocity was down a few miles an hour, right? And then he gets moved over here. So that might have been a precursor. That might have been why he had the MRI too, and then immediately comes over here. And I mean, the quote from him was, want to go put a little extra on the fastball. And then it grabbed me a little bit and it didn't go away.
Yeah, I'm with you because I think about a guy who's been traded quite often. I don't know the protocol for pitchers, but position players, we usually don't go through MRIs or, the physical's done. Like once the season's happened and you made it this far, teams, when they trade for you, they've done their due diligence and they believe, hey, he's pretty healthy. So for me, the red flag is that, we got an MRI before we got traded. Like that for me, when you talk about the Cubs, would either signal, hey, go ahead and do that deal, but also maybe go get an insurance piece just in case. Because to me, I haven't heard that much. I know Frage might can touch on it, but usually when you get traded, I'm not used to hearing guys going to get x-rays and being checked over. Usually by the time the team has called and made that deal, it's pending some physicals, but I never actually went through an actual physical in the trade. So I don't know how it works with pitchers and arms. But absolutely for me, if I would have been in that front office, I would have 100% maybe been thinking, hey, maybe we go try to get somebody else. If that's Joe Ryan or maybe somebody not on that tier, a little insurance will help. Because when I look at this, this pitching roster right now, I do worry about October, right? Imanaga is who he is. Matthew Boyd has been great. But after that, question mark, man. Just to be honest, especially when you talk about youth pitching in October.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly was the one for me. If you didn't want to go with the long-term guy, that was the one. He's having a good year.
A great
He's
guy.
Playoff tested. He's National League tested. Good dude. Yeah, I mean they tried. They tried for him. They said they just didn't match up. But I'm like, I would have made it match up. I would have figured that one out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They should have called AJ Preller and asked him what he would have did. AJ Preller would have helped him figure it out.
AJ would have been like, oh, he's already on the team. I traded for him yesterday. It's just a different mentality. So hopefully Soroka's okay, but that's certainly not good news, when he just joined the team there and he goes down with the injury. Remember last year, the talk was about Jack Flaherty and the Yanks turned him down and then he ended up pitching the rest of the season. So I'm okay with taking the risk, but just make sure that you've got someone else there just in case. Plus for me, either way, Soroka wasn't starting a playoff game for me. If anything, I was potentially putting him into the bullpen down the stretch, but we'll see what happens with the Cubbies.